What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and in this video I am going to be recapping my trade from today. I made like $14,250 across all of my accounts. We caught a nice 37-point trade. It was like a 2.4 R. All of my executions and P&L are on Twitter if you're interested in seeing that. So with that being said, let's get into the recap. Today was a little bit more of a difficult day. ES looked extremely bearish, while NQ looked extremely bullish. Now, I don't typically like trading these conditions, but we did have 10 a.m. red folder news, and so I waited, until 10 a.m. to actually go ahead and take a trade. So with that being said, on the 4-hour time frame, right, we can see that overnight the Nasdaq made a higher high, while ES made a lower high. This is some nice bearish SMT right here. And this is just, telling me that price wants to go lower. I know we're at all-time highs, but I really don't like fading this sort of SMT, especially it's on the daily time frame as well. I don't like fading that. So dropping down to the hourly, what do we have? Well, we still have that SMT, and on the 4-hour, right, on ES, we do have all of these bearish fair value gaps that price is respecting. Now, on the hourly, we don't really have anything at all. So here, wait, let me just remove these drawings. On the hourly, we don't really have anything at all other than bullish price action. The NASDAQ looked extremely bullish. Obviously, this is after I took my trade or during my trade. But yeah, so the NASDAQ before this candle closed looked extremely bullish because we were trading above, this fair value gap. It looked like this basically, which looks bullish. And on ES, we actually inversed this hourly fair value gap up here, as you can see right here, right? We inversed it. It's way smaller. But yeah, so like as I was saying, ES looked extremely bearish. The NASDAQ looked extremely bullish. Now dropping down to the 15-minute time frame, what do we see? Well, obviously before price action has priced, we looked like this, right? This was what it looked like, and we also had this bullish SMT at these, at this low, right? ES swept the London low, Nasdaq didn't. I was still bearish though. We had, that higher time frame SMT, daily SMT, 4-hour SMT, always, always, always overrides any other time frame SMT. So besides, weekly and monthly, right? Monthly and weekly SMT is like a big deal, right? But I don't really care about this bullish SMT. So I was still short. And then dropping down to the 5-minute time frame, what did I want to see? Well, my draw on liquidity for today was London lows. If you're in the narrative premium, you would know that because I post my daily analysis every day. I also gave them this signal for this trade, which I don't usually do, but for today, it was getting late. I wanted to have some fun. I signal botted my Discord, and it was pretty fun. But so basically, right, we had this bearish BPR, right? We inversed that 5-minute gap, and then we made this bearish 5-minute gap as well. So what did I do? Well, I saw price pull into this 5-minute fair value gap, drop to the 1-minute, and I wanted some sort of lower time frame confluence for an entry that I could take down to London lows. And well, what do you see here? We see this 1-minute fair value gap that gets inversed, right? And I actually entered on the retest. If you guys actually want to see my executions, then you can literally just look at my Twitter. I post everything there. But anyways, stop went at this high. It was like 17 points of risk. And then final TP was actually London lows, which were right here, I believe. Wait a second. London lows, which were right here, I believe. Let me just check the indicator. Yeah, London lows right there, right? And this trade actually, we took TP there. We were chopping around. I thought we were going to take the TP instantly, and then we went up, chopped around, and then, took the TP. This trade is a really good example of why I don't love going break even. As you can see here, a lot of people in my Discord actually went break even right here, right after we broke this low. People went break even, and as you see here, as you can see, right, they got stopped, and then we ended up taking TP. I don't love going break even, so I literally just kept my stop there. And I was in drawdown for a little bit, and then price came down and took my TP. This trade took around like 26 minutes to play out. This trade took definitely a long time. But it was a nice one for one on the day. This is typically later than I usually enter trades, right? I entered this trade at like 10:02. So just a little later than typical. But anyways, this was a good setup in my book, and people in the Discord banked, made like $2,060 across 5 of my top step 150Ks, and then I made 1,900 something across both of my Alpha 150Ks. And I did not actually trade my new My Funded Futures scaling plan account, right, my 150K, because I'm trying to pass it as fast as possible. I traded Asia last night and made around like 2.7K, and the evals do have a 50% consistency rule. So I didn't want to go ahead and, make any more money on that account today, because I want to pass it as fast as possible. I don't want to get stuck trying to make more money just to satisfy the consistency rule. But anyways, this is my trade from today. Let me know in the comments below if you took the same trade as me. If you were in the narrative premium, you definitely took the same trade as me because I told you. And yeah, I post my daily draw on liquidity every single day in there, and I also post trade ideas. So this was a trade idea that I ended up signal botting. But with that being said, let me know in the comments below if you took the same trade, or if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. I literally read all of my comments, and I respond to most of them, the good ones. So if you have anything to say, let me know. Subscribe if you're new. I post trade recaps, probably more consistently than anyone on YouTube. So subscribe if you're new, if you feel like seeing how I trade, learning how I trade, blah, blah, blah. And with that being said, follow me on other socials if you feel like it. The new Alpha Future Zero accounts, the 20% off with code CHAR ends at the end of this month. Literally like 2 days left. So if you want to get a zero account, insane rules, you can look, if you're, just join my Discord, the free one. You can see in my announcements all the benefits. It's crazy. There's like no activation fees. The rules are insane, blah, blah, blah. Really good for new traders. So if you're interested in that, go cop a new zero plan account with code CHAR. You get 20% off. And I'm giving away 2 of them this month as well because of the new, it's a new account, new month, blah, blah, blah. I'm giving away 250Ks. So if you're interested in that, go get that. With that being said, peace out. Have a great rest of your day. And yeah, get off the charts and go touch some grass. Peace.